Fred Williams, Frugal Finance, more currency, calculating foreign exchange rates. When you're dealing with money from all over the world, exchange rates are important. In order to find them, all you have to do is compare the value of two different currencies. Seems simple, right? Well, let me ask you this. In that previous session, was there any clarity? No, it's not so simple. If you do this after 2 weeks of crunching the numbers, it'll seem simple, but at first, doing the conversion, a little bit challenging. It seems simple enough, right? Well, not particularly. If you often switch between two or more currencies, you know that calculating an exchange rate is not so straightforward. First, the rates are in constant fluctuation. Just like the stock market, exchange rates move according to supply and demand. Global money is traded around the clock. Second, you will receive different rates than people trading on the open market. Even then, the exchange rates you're offered will vary from bank to bank and service to service. With so many variables, how do you know which exchange rate is fair to ensure you get the best deal available? Let's start with a basic example. Maybe you're a U.S. retiree who lives in Mexico but earns your $1,000 retirement from the U.S. Okay, you're an expat. In that case, you need to change your dollars to pesos every month. Searching online, the exchange rate would look like this. And you're going to go, one US dollar is worth 22 Mexican pesos. Well, simple math is 1,000 times 2208 gives you 22,080 pesos monthly. So now you have this big roll of cash of pesos. Since your monthly retirement is US, you could calculate it like this. Well, I just said 1,000 times 2208 is fine. A US 1,000 retirement here would equal 22. All right. On the other hand, perhaps you're renting a condo in Canada and need to pay exactly Canadian 500. Well, traditionally, and I don't know, I'm going to go off on a bit of a tangent, but rarely do we hear about people going on vacation in Canada, US people. Why? I don't know, but right off the bat, Canada is trading at about a 30% discount to the US. Why would you not head up to Canada? I used to go up to Canada, go up there once a year. The discount, I'd just say that the exchange rate was about 18 cents lower, trading at about 87 cents. Now it's trading at 75 cents to the dollar. It's always best to go where the cheapest money is. I can't imagine going to Europe, and it used to be almost 2 to 1. Now I think it's 140. Automatically, you're paying a huge premium in addition to the inflated cost of whatever Europe is charging for vacation stuff. I don't know, hotel room. How about everything? So with that being said, you have $1 US to 75 cent Canadian. You know you're going to have a heck of a lot more purchasing power here. To find the Canadian dollar cost of US 500, repeat the earlier calculations, go 500 times 75 cents equals 378. Ha! Beautiful, isn't it? Beautiful. That being said, simple pound to US conversion, all we're doing 5,500 converted, let's say the pound is 5,500 per dollar. US 162. So we have converting day one to US dollar, we go D38 to C38. Day two, 161. So now that pound converted from, we have 8, 9, 10. So now we have to convert it over to pound. We converted over 161 divided by 8, 9, 10. So now we have 5,500. Now it's at 5,534. A gain of 0.062. Have I lost you there? Probably. What happens? We have the dollar at 162. Now dollars at 161. Take the 8, 9, 10 right here, 554, 8, 9, 10. We have to convert that over to pounds. So it's at 554. Now, what happens if the dollar strengthens? See the dollar weakened here? Dollar strengthens. What happens? You take that 8, 9, 10, divided by 165. Now we only have 5,400 pounds. If we convert that over, 1.82% loss. Yen, we're going to use this 1.01 conversion. So we have 10,000 and the yen is trading at 0.01. Convert that over 100. So now you have 100. That conversion is 100. Yen goes from 0.01 to 0.0104. So US converted now is 9615, 3.85 loss. So you take, okay, D43 times C43. Your $10,000 times 0.01 is 100. Now you're going to have 100 yen for your $10,000. So 100, convert that over. Yen weakens. Now you have 10,099. So there's a 0.99 gain. The US dollar conversion. So now you have 1,000,000 yen. Dollar strengthens from $1 to $2. What happens? You convert that over. So now you have a 98392. So 1.96 loss. US dollar strengthens to 104. Now you have 104 yen. Convert that over to a buck. Divide E47 by 102. So you can see there's two factors here. US dollar 104, conversion 1,1040. So now you have a 4% gain. Simple US dollar to Nepalese rupee conversion. Why do I do this? Because I've been to Kathmandu a number of times. Oh, I'm just curious. I want to know if I have 500 bucks, the rupee's worth 114.34. So now I have 57,000 rupees. I put yen there. That should be rupees. The rupee decreases 1%. So it went from 114 to 115. US converted. So E50 divided by F50. E50, 57,170. Divide this by F50. So 495. So now I took a loss. If the rupee stays the same, let's say it was at 114 and now it decreases to 113. So now my US 500 bucks is worth 505. So I gained a modest amount. The next day you would buy the following based on day 2 currency. So now I have 57,741 currency, and here I have 56,598 rupees. I may have said this backwards. Gain loss on C50, C50 by C50, 495, E50, 57170. Divided this by F50, 115. So now I only get 495 back. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take E50, 15,170. I'm going to divide that by the new currency, which is 115, and I only get $495 back. So there's a loss. So now I take F50, 115,483 times C50, 500. If I didn't do the conversion, in other words, if I want to see, I have 500 and it's at 114.34, I get 57,170. If it goes to 115, I would get 57,741. That's fine. But had I bought at 114.34, it increases to 115,483. I have a loss. Okay? And then here, the same thing. If you look at this F51, 113, rupee drops, then I'm only going to get 56,000 rupees. It depends on when you exchange. You can, let's say you plan on heading to Kathmandu in November. Let's say you think the rupee is going to drop. You can either buy a forward contract. I don't know if you can do it here, or you could skedaddle to an exchange. All right. You can go either online or you could go to an airport and you could see what that exchange rate is. You probably go online and do it. I've never done it that way. Whenever I go to Nepal or Thailand or Mexico or Costa Rica or Canada or what have you, I generally just exchange once I get there. And here you would probably never see this big of a drop. But when you're messing around doing this, especially in third world countries, you probably don't have as much of an opportunity to trade this ahead of time. But if it's yen, you can buy a futures contract, and then clearly you wouldn't take delivery. You'd just sell it right before your travel time. You could do the same with pound. You could do any of this through the currency market. let's move on. Let's say we have three exchange rates. We have 0.01 to the dollar. We have 0.05 to the dollar. And then we have 2 to the dollar. What am I talking about? Dollar yen divided by pound yen equals 2. What am I talking about? Let's look here. This will confuse you. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You have to just literally take this step by step. What we're doing is we have three exchange rates. So if we have dollar yen 0.01, C54, divide this by C55, yen dollar, you get $2. Dollar yen equals dollar divided by pound times pound divided by yen equals C56. Divide this by C55. You're going, what? And then if you take pound yen equals dollar yen divided by dollar pound equals 0.005. So yen pound equals US dollar is 2. If we take equals, I'm just going to go, okay, if we take yen, divide this by 0.05 equals 2. You took your dollar, or let's say you have yen and pounds, the conversion will be this, so on and so forth. I'll explain this in detail in the next session. I just want to show you what we're trying to do here. Yen equals dollar times pound, and pound equals yen divided by dollar. Currency 1 year future price. Okay, 1 year interest rate is 5%. 1 year interest rate in Germany, 4%. The spot rate in Deutsche Marks, 0.65. Future price divided by spot price equals 1 year US Treasury divided by 1 year German rate. 105 divided by 104 times 0.65. 1 year German Deutschmark future price. There you go. You're going, what are you talking about? This is the preview. This is where we're going. Future price. How does this work? What's the thinking here? More to come. I didn't explain it, but be patient. I will. Brad Williams, Frugal Finance. Are we having fun? Williams out.